channel. My name is Stacey Flowers and I am a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University and on a journey to become 100% debt-free. I am currently on baby step number 1 to save $500, and that is because my income is under $20,000 a year. I work part-time and I earn anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a month. My current debt is over $180,000. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how I was able to achieve my number 1 financial goal for 2018. So if you are interested in learning more about that goal and how I was able to achieve it, please keep watching. As many of you know, a few months ago, I put together a video where I talked about my 2018 financial goals and how they were drastically different than my financial plan. My financial plan is the Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. It includes baby steps that eventually will help me to become 100% debt-free. It is a radical debt elimination and financial management plan. Inside of that plan, I have goals, and every single year while I'm working that plan, I will be progressing towards specific goals. And my number 1 goal for 2018 was to restore my financial dignity. In the previous video, I talked about the ways in which I lost my financial dignity, but in this video, I really want to talk to you about how I was able to restore my financial dignity and achieve this goal. There were actually 5 things that I wanted to do that were sort of like benchmarks in my mind for whether or not my financial dignity would have been restored. And the number 1 thing that I wanted to be able to manage financially were my feminine hygiene products, and more broadly, probably my personal hygiene. I mentioned in the video before that, like, you know, I didn't work for nearly a year and I was unable to take care of myself, and I was blessed to have someone cover every single expense in my life. The challenge that I faced in having someone support me in that way is that I went from providing for myself and technically providing for other members of my family to not being able to do anything. And there's something that is a little like demoralizing, or like it doesn't feel good when you know that month to month you're going to need certain feminine products and you cannot afford them. Like, there's something about like once upon a time being able to, and then being in a situation where you just can't afford them at all. And it was so difficult for me. So that was like the number 1 thing, is I wanted to consistently be able to cover all of my personal hygiene, and I was able to do that. The second thing that I really wanted to be able to do to offer consistent financial support for my son. Many of you all know I have a 15-year-old son. He will be 16 in July. And again, with me getting sick for a year, I did not contribute as a parent. I didn't contribute financially. I didn't contribute emotionally. I didn't contribute physically because I wasn't in the same space. Psychologically, there were many ways in which I just wasn't able to show up and be there for my son, and we are healing a lot of that now in this particular season. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to offer some consistent financial support. The financial support isn't necessarily at the level that I want it to be, but it is consistent, and that's something that's a little bit more important to me than the dollar amount. I'd rather be consistent with a lower dollar amount than inconsistent with a much higher dollar amount. And so I've consistently been able to send support for my son, and that has been incredible. And I know that I am incredibly fortunate to be in a co-parenting situation where when I was not able to show up and be present for my son financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, his father was 100% there. Third thing that I needed to do to restore my financial dignity was to get health insurance. And health insurance was a premium. And it was a premium because, as you guys know, I come on here every time and I say I work part-time. And that is because I have every intention to run my company full-time. And one of the biggest mistakes that I made as an entrepreneur in the past was not prioritizing healthcare or medical insurance. And the reason why it was a mistake for me is because now what I understand about entrepreneurship that I didn't understand before is that if you are anything like me, and most entrepreneurs are like this, you are pouring your blood, sweat, and tears into your company. You are using your body, you are using your mind, you are using your heart, you are using every physical, mental capacity that you have to create something for the world to consume. And when you don't have medical insurance, you don't have that underlying security to actually cover the body that you're using to build this company, right? Like it's foolish to know that you're using your body and mind at 100% capacity, but then to not say, I'm not going to cover that from an insurance perspective. It's like, no, cover that from an insurance perspective. So getting medical insurance, being able to cover my cost for therapy, being able to cover my annual exams, being able to cover just in case something happens was a huge, massive, this is proper financial dignity for you, Stacey, as you are continuing to work part-time, but also moving into your company full-time. And so that was number 3. Number 4 was to be able to cover the cost of my rent. Again, you know, I was very fortunate. I was supported for nearly a year, and getting back to the place of where I could cover my own rent was huge. And the 5th component of restoring my financial dignity was starting my emergency fund. Getting to the point where I was able to prioritize paying myself first. Like, even though I don't come on camera and show up as if I have any anxiety about the debt that I have, there is mild anxiety about it. I did tell you guys my debt threshold is fairly high in terms of my level of comfort, and I am well over that number. But there's some anxiety because you know, I owe a ton of money, and if you watch my previous video, you know how much my debt is costing me per day, and you also know how much my debt is costing me per month. And so underlying, there's this desire to, like, you know, do something radical and like not pay these expenses and like pay, like just pay off, like just try to radically pay off, and not gazelle intense pay off, but I'm talking like radically pay off debt with the part-time income that I have coming in. But in terms of restoring my financial dignity, I realized that, Stacey, slow and steady is going to win the race. You tried gazelle intense, you tried being radical, you tried doing everything swiftly, and you burned yourself out in a relatively short period of time. And the idea with this financial management plan is to not burn out and then have to start over, is to literally adopt it as the way that you manage your finances. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you actually take the steps as if they're baby steps. And with those 5 things accomplished, I'm like, holy smokes, like I literally went from making no money, like financial, like just being financially in such a significant hole that I was making no money, and then like emotionally and mentally being in a space where I didn't necessarily feel confident in earning money, whether it was working part-time for someone else or even opening up my own company again. It's just to get back to this space where it's like 5 months ago, or October, November, December, January, February, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I wasn't earning any money. And that first month that I did earn money, I earned it because I participated in a study so that I could get a lump sum of income, right? And so I didn't start earning consistent money until 5 months ago. And in 5 months, I've been able to restore my financial dignity. And for that, I am incredibly happy. I am so excited to have achieved this goal, like reaching my number 1 goal of the financial goals that I set for 2018 just gives me so much enthusiasm and momentum for going after and attacking my next goals. And I'm elated. Like, I'm so, like, I don't know how to explain to you guys how happy I am. I am proud of myself is what it is. Like, I'm proud, and I'm also very happy. And so I want to give you guys this one tip with respect to achieving goals, especially if they are goals that seem impossible. You guys have been following this journey now for about 6 months, and when I was putting up my numbers and I was talking about, you know, my financial plan, my financial goals, you could see in the commentary that there were a lot of negative Nancy's about the possibility of me being able to do what I was setting out to do, how wrong I was in the way that I was doing it, and I needed to go work full-time and not. Like, there were so many suggestions, and that's not unique to me. Anytime you're going to be setting a goal, there are going to be people who suggest that you do it the way that they see fit for you. And I kind of just want to offer this piece of advice so that you can get through that, so that you can actually achieve the goal that's going to make you happy. Because if you switch up because people are suggesting things, you may achieve it, but you're not going to be happy. And the point of this, we are running around acquiring things, moving in and out of relationships, earning money, building our career, starting companies because we want to be happy. We believe that these things are going to make us happy. And so since that is the truth underlying thing, it's important to know that as you're progressing and moving towards what it is that you want, that you apply this one particular tip. And that is, do not plant a what seed and a how seed in the same soil. And that's something that I got from my former church. There was a visiting pastor who came in and he literally said, don't plant a what seed and a how seed in the same soil, because one will choke out the faith of the other. And when you're going after something impossible, you need faith to be able to carry you there. Like there was nothing that I was doing over the past 5 months that said, you know what, you're going to be able to afford medical insurance, and you're going to consistently be able to send support for your son, and you're definitely going to be able to pay your rent. There was nothing that I was doing in terms of financially that looked like I was going to be able to achieve that. But part of the reason why I was able to do that is because I didn't plant a how seed next to a what seed. I planted what I was going to do. I came on camera and I told you guys what I was going to do, but I did not come on camera and tell you guys how I was going to do it. And that was because the soil of you all, especially for this particular goal, is about what I'm doing, but it's not about how I'm doing it. If you notice, I'm never asking you for suggestions on how you think I should do this. Why? Because how, for me personally, is really between me and God, right? Like, God is going to give me the download. God is going to give me the inspiration. God is going to say, Stacey, go left, go right, go straight, stop, pause, think, move. He's going to be the one helping me to uncover the why, the how. You all are the place where I plant what I'm doing, where I come on and I say, this is my accountability for what I'm doing month to month. This is what I'm doing. And so thinking about your own life, I want you to think about the last audacious goal that you tried to set for yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, did I plant my what seed and my how seed in the same soil? So that is my tip for achieving radical, impossible goals. Do not plant your what seed and your how seed in the same soil. With that being said, I am going to jump off camera as a proud, financial dignity restored, super excited woman. And I thank you all for listening. I deeply appreciate each and every single one of you, and I will talk to you very soon.